delighted to welcome my guests to the show. It's the gorgeous Sabine Brignell and the mighty force of nature that is Plastic EP. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you,
Cliff. Thanks for having us on the show.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
I'm coming in from Melbourne, Australia. I usually spend half my time doing US guests and UK guests, and we got the sensational Sabine. And let me tell you, we got our fantastic show that's all over the UK and the world currently, which is called Go Straight to the Top of the Charts, as you know.
Straight to the top of the charts. Yes.
I wrote that song. It was on my first album. And also I got to tell you, a lot of people don't know, but I've written 2,400 original songs, and you can find them on the internet, Spotify, iTunes, under the name The EP. So it's THE space EP apostrophe S. You'll see me in the gold suit. You'll see the original Plastic EP. And all I can say is music has been my life. It's only March last year that for 1 year during the height of the pandemic, I've interviewed over 400 people.
See, that's incredible, isn't it?
That's a record. I've got a lot of friends that have told me that's a record, but I haven't investigated that.
So you seem to be a bit of a workaholic in that sense then. So you've constantly been in touch with people saying, you know, please can I speak to you? The stuff that you've done is amazing. It's all music related, isn't it, in some way?
Not really. It's basically everybody. As I said,
anyone.
I've interviewed people.
Could be anyone.
Anyone. Interesting people. Beatles people, monkey people.
That's linked to music.
Yeah, I know, but let me give you an example. People that have done things that the commercial stations won't put them on. I found one guy, for example, he made a flying saucer from the TV show Lost in Space that actually rises off a table. It hovers and it works with magnets. It's like the future. I interviewed him. I've done so many amazing interviews.
I love it.
From a variety of people. You got no idea. I'll give you an example. In the US, there was a show called The Bugaloos, and they were all British actors, right? And what happens is I've interviewed 3 Bugaloos. I've interviewed one of the Banana Splits, right? Bingo. I've interviewed the guy that played the child actor in the Land of the Giants. So I do pop culture. I do everything. I've got a genre of people. You got no idea. They're all on Plastic EP. If you go to that website or Plastic EP Live TV, it's endless. There's 430 shows there, believe it or not.
That's amazing. There's so much then to see, so much to hear, mainly like the obscure, the absurd, the fun, the fantastical. Yeah. So, but let's talk about this current show that you've got with Sabine, because I think this sounds really exciting. So this is new. This is Go Straight to the Top of the Charts. Where did your idea come from, and what is the format of this show? Sabine, why don't you tell us a bit about it? Let Sabine get a word in edgeways.
She knows how unique the show is, so I'll let her get a word in.
I tell you what, Plastic EP can talk for Australia, and I can talk for England.
Well, between the two of you, how wonderful. We just keep going on all evening.
We do manage. As you say, we've structured the format. And it's got to be slick now. We're really on a roll now with all our shows, and how we work it with the questions to the artists, and when we both chip in with things. But I have my role, and Plastic has his role, and it works. So I focus on the hits and the chart entries and past and present, and we give the artists a plug if they have a new album, single release. Or in cases a rock author, it'd be a new book that's coming out. So we will always give a plug to the artist and to whoever is actually on the show, because that's a good thing to do. You're spreading the word for them, and that's what it's all about too, and informing the listeners, because not everybody has an ear to they don't always hear these things. I mean, a lot of people find out stuff on Facebook, of course, and Twitter or whatever. But no, this is a good way of bringing information to music lovers.
Absolutely. So
It's
it's
actually
all
a
about the
unique
love.
show, I got to say. And the reason it's unique is it's international. I can give you an example. I'll take you back. We had Ron Dante on the show. He had the #1 song in the world in 1969 with Sugar Sugar. We had Gary Puckett, 1967, 1968, two of the biggest songs in the world. Young Girl, Get Out of My Life. Young Girl, that was one of them. The other one's called Woman, Whoa, Woman. I got to tell you, those are great songs, evergreen. And he had one of the finest voices, and he still got it. And they were the evergreen hits from the 60s. We also had John Ford Cooley. He had a very big song too. Then we also, as I said, just interviewed now Susie Quattro, like yourself. And we got so many great artists.
Let's just take a moment to just say how magnificent that woman is. She's just a wonderful soul, isn't she?
Yeah.
We love her. You know what I said? The best thing I said to Susie, Elvis Presley might have been the king, but you are the queen of rock and roll, and we are your servants.
Yeah,
and we bow down to the queen.
Limitless. There's nothing she can't do.
No.
Oh, she's amazing. I mean, she's like, she writes poetry. She's doing another novel.
I know.
You know, she's got this documentary that I went to the screening of 3 years ago now.
Susie Q, were you there at the screening?
I was at the Stepney Green one, which was a Q&A event. Oh. And her son, Richard Tuckey, was there. Her daughter, Laura, was there. You know, so I really had a good chance to talk to everybody. But Richard's really funny, actually. I know he co-writes all the songs for her albums, and he's done the latest one. But he's so funny. And he photobombed our picture.
Did he? Good for him.
Yeah, so funny. I didn't realize until afterwards when I looked at the shot. There's Richard, like his head popping up behind us, you know. But Susie is just the most incredible artist.
Oh, yeah. You know, I just love her. I just love to hang out with her sometimes. She's that kind of person.
I would love to do that. But I would just like to sit down and you know, just talk to her about all the things that she does and more, because there is so much to her. Yeah. You know, we didn't cover absolutely everything. And
it's great that you sing too, Claire. We know that you sing.
Yeah.
But let me say this.
Little ditty or two from time to time.
No, I know you do with your husband. Now, let me tell you that. And he plays guitar good. Now, I've got to tell.
He's a drummer, actually. He's just learned guitar in lockdown. That's all. He's only learning guitar, but he's the drummer in the band. That's his main thing, the whole animal thing, you know.
Well, let me give you an exclusive to everybody in the UK that you don't know, okay? In the US, there's going to be a radio station called Monkey Mania Radio. It's starting the end of June. It's coming soon. I'll have a program on Saturday and Sunday. It's about monkey music. It's about people associated with the monkeys, like writers, everybody that's got or connected with the monkeys. This radio station is going to be on Live 365, and you'll be able to download the app. It's for free, and you'll be able to listen to Monkey Mania Radio all over the world. Coming the end of June. As I said, I've got a show on Saturday and one on Sunday coming up, and that is going to be unbelievable for the world. We can't wait, because I've got to say, Sabine and myself are very big Monkeys fans.
Yeah, because Sabina, didn't you meet one of the monkeys once on a tube or on the train or something? Or you were sitting opposite?
Mickey.
Yeah,
that was Mickey. I met him a couple of times. Well, actually, the first time I saw Mickey, he was in Selfridges shopping. This is the mid-'80s, or And
what was he buying? Which area was he in Selfridges?
He was just on the ground. He was actually just about to jump onto the escalator, and I just called out, "Hey, Mickey!" And he said, "I can't stop. You know, I'm shopping for my wife. If I don't shop, she'll kill me. You know." So I thought, okay, let you go. You know, I just want to say hi. And then the second time, I was actually sitting on the train into Waterloo on the way to work. So I used to work at IPC magazines, and so he was actually on his way to LWT Studios to do Metal Mickey. And I honestly, this is just so strange, but it's true. I was sitting there with the Monkeys, a Monkeys fanzine on my lap. Well, it might have been the annual. I can't quite remember, but it was a Monkeys, magazine, annual book, whatever. And he was sitting opposite me, and the eyebrow went up, and he was like smirking, he smirked, but we didn't just say anything. And then we both got off, and we started walking together along the same road, the same street, because we're going the same direction. And I of course, I had to say something. And
of course you did. Were you working up to it?
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, you never know. Sometimes they don't want to talk,
No,
but
that's it.
he said, "Yeah, I appreciate that." And I said, "Well, I'm watched all the shows in the late, early 70s when I was a teenager, and I'm, and all that." So anyway, then we said our goodbyes, and he said, "Well, I'm going off to record Metal Mickey now." So I said, "Oh, fabulous, great." And off I went to IPC, and then I met Davey at the Fortune Theatre in Covent Garden when he was doing Godspell. And he was in the role, and afterwards he was in the bar mingling with the cast. He was like just just talking to everybody. He was such a sweet, funny guy, and very down to earth. And I just started chatting to him, and then someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Oh, well, do you know Davey?" And I said, "No, I don't know him, but I mean, no, of course I know who he is. I'm a big fan." And she said, "Well," she said, "I want you for my magazine because you obviously seem very natural talking to all these stars." Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Davey then asked me to go, so he invited me to rehearsals for the Monkees reunion tour at the Albert Hall. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, just have a word with my manager over there, get you a pass and come along." And I did. And I was sitting with his little daughter, who would have been about 3 or 4 at the time, little Jessica, and she was drawing on my notepad because she didn't have anything to do. She was just sitting there, and I was kind of minding her really because her mum wasn't there. So David was very appreciative, and he said, "Thanks for looking after Jessica. Really, here's a ticket for the Albert Hall." And I thought, oh gosh, there was no chance to do an interview though. But hey, what? And I've still got Jessica's drawings on my notepad, and she will have them back one day.
Oh, what a great experience!
I'm full of stories. I have so many stories and anecdotes. That's what I do in my memoirs.
I love it. We should talk a bit more about your show, this new show, shouldn't we? Because where do we find it? Where do the viewers go?
I'll just tell you, we go live from the page on Facebook, Plastic EP. Follow that page, Plastic EP. I got 3 pages. One is Plastic EP. Everybody goes to that one because they want to see the shows live. I actually do 4 shows. It's not one show.
That shows
I do the Buzz.
The Buzz.
I do the Buzz.
Right.
With Robin B. Bzz, right. Then I have another show, Chachi. I do a show with Chachi Lapretti, does a DJ show called Breakfast with the Beatles.
Okay.
Every Saturday and Sunday coming out of Boston. That's called Plastic EP.
So and this is also on Facebook Live.
So many people on that.
This is Facebook Live as well, yeah.
Yeah, everything's live. So
all of it's Facebook Live.
Anything, just go there. But also, I got to say, for those people that want to be my friend, go to a page. It's called Daniel Sam, right? That's half my name, Daniel Sam. You see a Monkees logo from the 60s. It's a big picture of a bubblegum wrapper, the 4 Monkees in blue and yellow. That's me. Everybody becomes my friend on that because there's so much happening on that page, I've got to tell you, Claire. Like you're a friend as well on there. I'm
your mate now. We're Bezzies now since Friday, the 3 of us.
I got EP songs going there. I got everything going on there. People got no idea, separate from everything. But let me show you something. Just stay there for a minute. I'm going to surprise you and show you something.
Ooh, we're not going anywhere. Should we hide our eyes? Is there a particular time, Sabine, that the show is going to be broadcast on Facebook Live?
Sabine, this is before your time, right? It's called Fabulous 208. Came out in 1967. As you see there, it says what day and month it is, right? But it's 67. Now, when you open it up, this is before your time, of course, right? In 1967, I was 9 years old. The Monkees had come to the UK. Okay, so now, here's an article here which I'm going to show you, which you're really going to find fascinating, right? But just I'll show you.
You have to describe this to our listeners.
That's an original 1967 poster of the Beatles.
Right.
That's the first thing. Now, inside here, there's an article that's written by Mickey Dolenz, and it's titled Mickey Writes for You, right? I'm going to show you. Look how great this is, just for your listeners and viewers. Look, there's a great picture of Mickey, and you can see that headline there. Hey, it's Mickey Dolenz, and he writes, "Writing for you." He's writing for you.
Yes, I see that now. Well,
how cool is that?
That is incredibly cool. Incredibly cool. Now, Sabine was just telling me when to expect your shows. Is there a particular time that they're sort of broadcast live, so that we know when to go?
I got to tell you, there's no time. We're the type of people. It's 24/7 for us.
Right.
As you know, in this business, we get an artist, and the artist will say, "I may have an artist coming out of America." I contact Sabine and I say, "Right, so-and-so artist is ready to go in an hour's time. Are you ready?" She's ready. Bang. Live,
so you just do it, goes live. It could be
live. You got no idea.
Yeah. It could be for 10 minutes. It could be for 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour. It just depends how it all goes for you. And then I guess then what we do. Sorry?
There's no actual, you can't pin down a time, because you just have to go when the artist is free, and we're all coordinated with the time changes, because obviously the time with Australia and here and America so we all have to coordinate and have a time that's good to us all. So that's another thing that Plastic has to coordinate. But I'm always on standby. And hey, I'm not going anywhere, am I? I'm at home. So, I'm here.
So even if it means you getting up in the middle of the night, maybe to do chat to somebody really
I normally get up in the middle of the night, Claire. It's 3:30 a.m. now.
I was going to say, I think that you're just always forever awake, aren't you?
I live on the net.
I have noticed this. Just
Claire, I live on the net. Make no mistake. You got no idea. I live on the net.
I'm realising that. Yes, I'm realising that now. So I guess we'll just get notifications through, won't we?
Yeah.
I'm here to entertain people. We're here to entertain people while the pandemic's on, while people are going through these things. You've got to understand something. Doesn't matter what time the show goes live, you'll be able to see it still on the page.
Yeah,
it's on the page.
Yeah.
So if you're asleep in the UK, you wake up, you go check the page.
Yeah.
Plastic EP. You'll see all the shows that have been done, or whatever show's been done from the night before. And as I said, the hardest part for me is the coordination. I got to tell you, it's like an army camp down here. I've got hours from all over the world going. You got no idea. I've never missed.
Fantastic.
Out of 430 interviews that I've done, I've only missed one due to a time mistake. Other than that, the 429, perfect. I've got it down to a T. The hardest time is the American time. Right? For me, I only work off one time, and that's the New York time, which is ET time, Eastern time there.
Yeah.
Then they've got a Pacific time. Then they've got a Central time. I just work off one time. And most people say, "Oh, you're 14 hours ahead," or this. It makes no difference. I just say to them, do the interview, 5 p.m. ET New York time. Don't worry about my time, right?
That's great.
That's the people in the UK. Then I'll say, okay, in the UK, 10 a.m. in the morning or 10 p.m. at night. And it's like, it's a juggling act. You got no idea. But this is the commitment to everybody in the world. Because as I said, we're an international show. And Sabine will tell you, there is no show like it on the net. And our personalities, exclusively probably mine, is so unique. I'll give you an example. I contacted someone from an interview, and I said, it's Plastic EP here. And they wrote back, what's a Plastic EP? Well, I've got to explain now. As you know, in the 60s, you put a record with 4 songs on it that had a cover. That's called an extended play. That's an EP. And what happens is it's made of vinyl, but another word for vinyl is plastic. So it's made out of plastic. Now, I've got to tell you where this derives from. In 1981 here in Australia, in Melbourne, I was in a band called Plastic EP and the Records, right? And we released a single called At Home and 3 Special Words on vinyl, a 7-inch record. Now, we kept the name for a year and we went to release a second single on vinyl, and we recorded a song called Well You Want to Make a Record. But what happens is before the song was finished, we went into the recording studio to finish off just some overdubs, and the master tape had gone missing, right? So we had a song called When You Want to Make a Record, and the irony is we couldn't make the record. So we left that second unreleased single, this is true, and we did, and then at the end of the year, we became the EPs, because I said, Plastic EP in the records is like Cliff Richard and the Shadows. It's too long. I'll keep the name Plastic EP. So that became my identity, let's say, before 1981. I'm no overnight success. That's me from, 78, basically. I had Plastic EP. So now we became the EPs. I'm the lead singer and I'm still Plastic EP.
Fantastic.
Then we did digital songs, and I released 13 albums in one go, right, when the digital started. And I've released over 100 albums, and they're all over the net. It's unbelievable, but it's true, right? Now, this song, When You Want to Make a Record, was released in 2018. So from 1981, it wasn't released until 2018, which I think you can work it out. Is that 38 years or 48 years?
Some many years.
Right, so somebody's got to do their maths right. But from 1981, 9 makes 90. So, you get that. But
this.
You get
this
the idea that
the
the song was released, and it's a punk song in 2018. Now, let me tell you, do everybody a favour. It was re-released in 2018, all those punk songs on an EP. It was 4 songs, and then there's another special edition single on vinyl, which is Well You Want to Make a Record, and I'm Not Coming Back on the other side, as Plastic EP in the records. Now, if you type that in YouTube or on the net, you'll be able to hear the songs for free on YouTube. And the first song, as I said, was At Home. It's like something you've never heard before, because punk was very big here in Australia, because we're behind England, as you know, in the UK. So we released this song in 1981, and it's still punk here, right? So this song just bounces out of your speakers. You don't know what you're going to hear. And then when you hear Well You Want to Make a Record, it's like no guitar lead you've ever heard in your life. It's like it's all on there. Just type in Plastic EP and the records. You'll find the songs, hear them for free. And if you go to YouTube and you type in the EPs, you can actually hear every song there as well. Plus, if you go to SoundCloud, or you go to Audio Mac, or you go to iTunes, or you go to Spotify, you type in the EPs, THE space, EP apostrophe S, you'll hear everything. For example, this year I released 3 albums, full albums at the start of the year. One's called Candy Shop, another one's called Do You Believe in Love? And then there's another one as well. I've got so many songs and albums.
So you've kept yourself really busy then, haven't you? And you've managed to do all these interviews as well. So much has been happening, hasn't it? Tell me how you two guys met.
Sabine will answer that.
Yes, please. I think it's definitely your turn.
Thank you. So last year, a couple of my friends were appearing on shows they're publicising their books. And they're Beatles fans, and I'm a big Monkees Beatles fan, and so they invited me to listen to the show, and I listened, and I chipped in with my own little, where I could, and I thought something relatable. I chipped in with my own anecdote, what have you, and Plastic kind of picked up on my comments and liked them and invited me on the show. So I ended up doing an interview with me. And then I interviewed him because we thought, well, hey, I kept seeing his name all over, Facebook, and I'm thinking, Plastic EP, what is this Plastic EP? Who is this guy? This larger than life guy, loud, and and he's all out there, and he's doing all these shows. And I thought, I'll go find out about this guy. So I asked my friends, and they said, yeah, there's Plastic. We know Plastic. Get on his friendship, friend requests on Facebook. And listen to some shows. And so, but anyway, out of all that and talking and then linking up with Plastic, the new show came out of it. And I'm very grateful to him because I love interviewing people too. I've done it all in the 80s. I did it when I was, in the media and, going to the record companies and interviewing big rock stars and all that, So it's a long time since I've done all that. But of course, now it's all visual.
Yeah.
Now it's the time of the Zoom. Everyone's on the net. Everyone's doing something on the screen. And so it's a whole different ball game. So it did take a bit of getting used to initially for me. But, as I say, the format's there. We've got it all going really well, very smoothly. And I'm having a blast.
Fantastic. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's like between the two of us, we have so many contacts. We have mutual contacts too, which we found out as we're going along. We're finding that we have got, we've got mutual contacts and we have the mutual taste in music as well. But we're pulling in all these artists that we really like and interesting people connected with the Beatles, the Monkees, whoever, LA producers, and just there's a whole variety of guests, and it's wonderful. It's so interesting talking to these people, because it's often the case. It's not just about the artist; it's about the people who surround the artist. It could be someone who's working on the TV show, because the makeup artist could be the hairdresser. You cut the Beatles' hair, say, or, it could be anything. So it makes very interesting viewing. We hope that this show, as Placid said, is very unique. We're a dynamic duo. I really
you are. And, love you guys.
It's just the whole premise is like, let's bring entertainment and joy to people who are on the net, who are viewing things and want and like music, are music lovers. So we're bringing this all to these people. I hope it goes from strength to strength because I think we've made a really good start.
Well done. Good for you two. And I'm sure it will go from strength to strength because you are, as you say, a dynamic duo. You're kind of an unlikely pairing, but then it actually works really, really well, doesn't it? And, you've got some great ideas and that passion that you have for music and the things surrounding and all the stories. It does sound great. So, well, straight to the top of the charts. We'll find all the pages on Facebook and we'll be watching. We'll get our notifications through in the middle of the night. We can watch it whenever we like. We can see you on YouTube. We can listen to your old songs of the past, Plastic as well. So, wish you every success with that. Thanks so much. I've really enjoyed our little chat today.
I have too, Claire, but I just want to say for everybody out there, because of the pandemic and what's going on, Sabine and I have organised pages, and you're going to love this. You go to Facebook, you type in, go straight to the top of the charts 60s, one page. Go straight to the top of the charts 70s. Go straight to the top of the charts 80s. And guess what? All the fans are posting their video clips from that era. So let's say you're sleeping at 4 a.m, you get up and you're not feeling that great and you want something to cheer you up. Go straight to the 70s. Or go straight to the 60s or go straight to the 80s and watch a film clip and join that group, because this is what we're doing. We're reaching out to everybody to join these groups, 60s, 70s, 80s, watch and post their own favourite video clips from YouTube. And I've got to also tell you, there's another page outside of that. You're going to love this, Claire, right? Your husband can wake up at 4 a.m. and go to Plastic EP's non-stop disco party.
Oh, he'll love that.
That's non-stop disco.
I'll already be there.
I said a year ago, I'm going to bring back disco. So go to that page, Claire, you and your husband, and join, please. Non-stop disco party. Yeah, and I tell you what, I've got a mother. My mother's nearly 80 years old. Guess what her favourite song is? Patrick Hernandez.
Not sure I'm going to go.
You know that song?
You have to sing it to me.
Yeah, the one that goes... Patrick Hernandez, now you've got me now because I just thought of it in my head, right? But that's one of the biggest disco songs. He's the artist. And it's just like, this is what happens when you're dealing with too many songs. But she's 80 and that's her favourite disco song. So, I mean, myself, I like the Silvers. These are half the groups you haven't heard. But I tell you what I love about the UK?
What do you love about the UK?
No, it's like, you got to understand something. I've been brought up in Australia, so we're part of the Commonwealth, right? But let me tell you something that I really admire about the people from the UK. When Eddie the Eagle You know that guy did that Olympic jump?
Yeah.
Said, I'm going to practice in my backyard. I'm going to do everything. And then what happens is everybody's wearing snow suits and jackets and jumpers, and there's no snow, but they're going down to their local shops. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I love.
Great.
You're not eccentrics. I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
No, I'm saying it's the fun of it. I like you people because you get in everything, you know?
Look.
It's like if it's not soccer, it's music, it's this. You know, I saw something there on the pandemic, and what happens, it was a street in the UK, and everybody got out and played the Nolan Sisters, right? A song, and everyone's coming out of their house, standing at the doorway dancing. Have you seen that on YouTube?
I have not seen that, but I really like the sound of that. Was it that they singing I'm in the mood for dancing by any chance?
That's the one.
Yeah.
They're doing that song.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for dancing, yes.
That's so
right.
lovely.
And they're all coming out of their houses,
Right.
separated and dancing to each other in
Good
the
for
street. Have
them.
you not seen that?
It's nice. You know, you've got to be, during these times, we've got to stay uplifted. We've got to help one another.
Yeah.
These little pages that you've got then for your show, it means that there's a whole community of people that can connect and become friends and share those eras, you know, that love of music that they have for the era. So that sounds pretty cool to me. Thank you so
I'll
much
tell you,
again.
Claire, you know what it is? I got to say something. It's all grassroots where you're actually dealing with people direct, and that's all we want to do. I'll give you an example, all right? I don't want to talk too much about commercial television, but I want to give you an example about here in Australia. There's a UK correspondent in 1964 who's in America, Ivor Davis. He's got a book called The Beatles and Me, The Beatles on Tour, right? You can buy the book, and he tells a story. Now, his claim to fame is he's one of the biggest journalists, the only UK journalist in the US that goes on tour with the Beatles, the first tour in 1964 in the US, travels with them in their suitcases for 5 weeks. But not only that, his other claim to fame is he was there when the Beatles met Elvis at Elvis's house in the US, right? And Ivor tells me all these stories for a 35-minute in-depth interview, which is on the net. You can find it.
So we can check that out as well.
When Elvis met the Beatles, and Ivor tells a story. Now, he devotes 35 minutes of his time. And here in Australia, commercial TV has a 5-minute interview on the same subject. Now, what would you rather watch? The 35-minute in-depth interview, which is instant and live on the net, or something that's been pre-recorded for 5 minutes? This is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
The new medium is now on the net. And I've got to say, even yourself, myself, and Sabine are pioneers now in this medium. You got no idea, because I'm actually a historian. Like, I actually document all these great people on video. For example, in Liverpool, there was a band called the Swinging Blue Jeans. The lead singer, I actually interviewed him, and the interview I got from him is life-changing, because he came on, I paid tribute to how great his band was, and it's things like that where if you've got a story to tell, you've got to tell it, because I'll tell you what, generations from now will be watching these videos to find out about people.
Yeah,
because
you're absolutely right.
It's rewriting itself right now. Believe me, you are a pioneer yourself, Claire. Right here, what you're doing now with us. Believe me, I'm a historical archivist. That's what they call it. When you document things and they're there, I'll tell you what, with 430 interviews behind me, I haven't stopped, and I haven't had time to see it. But in generations to come, they'll want to know these Beatle people. They'll want to know these Monkey people. They won't know who they are, but they'll refer to these videos and they'll know. And that's the great thing about the net.
You're right. It's really good to have a visual, isn't it, these days? And that's what I've really enjoyed as well about this whole lockdown thing, and the radio stations, you know, closing down. You've got to set up all this equipment at home and work out how to use it all at home, which is totally different. But, you know, the fact that I've been able to do Zoom calls and get to like see these artists and these legends and sort of see their facial expressions and just build up that rapport. It's so much more, actually, isn't it? And it's great.
I just got one more thing to say to your viewers, all right?
Great, because we're running out of time. Yeah.
No, this is the last one. I want them all to go and check out a song called Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy. I start all my shows with that song, Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy.
Oh, please sing a bit for me now. You've got to.
He goes, hey, bananas, we think you're groovy. Right? You got to see it on YouTube and at the start of my shows. And I can tell you, out of 2,400 songs, that was the song that I picked to break me in America, and it did. Everybody in America knows that song. Hey, bananas, we think you're groovy.
Well,
and everybody
you
out
are
there now,
bananas and you're groovy.
On YouTube,
no
on
doubt
your phone,
about
hey,
it.
bananas, we think you're groovy. And you're going to see me walking down Hollywood Boulevard where the stars are. And we're doing Hey Bananas, We Think You're Groovy. It's a slight tribute to the TV show, The Banana Splits, right, 1968. But I'll tell you what, you hear that song and you really do feel groovy.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claire.
All the best with all those shows.
Thank you.